Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and this is my tips and tricks guide for Super Baby 2 in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, as always with these guides, this is going to be a longer video, and we're going to be broaching a wide variety of subjects. So if you want to skip ahead, this video is full of timestamps, so skip ahead to whatever sounds interesting to you. With that said, as always, we start at the start, so let's go over Super Baby 2's moveset. Now, when it comes to just, the basic moveset, Super Baby 2 is pretty jam-packed, as he has a lot going on both in specials and command normals. And the first thing we're going to talk about here is the Revenge Driver. That's this guy right here, the dunk. So it's quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy, and it is indeed air okay. Now, what is important about this move? In and of itself, you're not going to use it too much. Like in neutral, other than if you just really need the distance gain. But what it is very good for combos. The light dunk specifically, it creates a grounded bounce state, meaning if you were to call an assist, they're bounced up off the ground, so assists are plenty okay to hit, and you can recombo from there. The medium version, as long as you haven't used your smash already, just recombos, period. Now, this is going to be mostly in the corner. However, it is very important for the corner, and a wide bulk of your corner combos will be using the medium dunk in some way and in some form. And the EX version, no matter where you are on the screen, you can always refollow from there. Just, of course, it costs you a part of your meter. But yeah, so all three are very useful for combos, although not too much outside of the usual combo structure. Our next special move here is the Dark Spring Shot. This is air okay as well. So he'll do a big pirouette, and those projectiles he's shooting out will return. And we'll have a whole section talking about that, actually. But one of the more interesting things about this, besides the fact that he has boomerang projectiles, which is plenty cool to be sure, is this move is an anti-air. Meaning, any aerial attacks here, it can beat them clean. And it still retains the property and still shoots those projectiles as well. Now, one thing to note here, while it is anti-air and has invincibility against aerial attacks, it is not flawless. It does not start up on frame 1. It actually starts up on frame 4. So similar to, say, like a down heavy where it's not instant, although it's still very quick. So in situations where they're literally already on top of you, you will be counter hit. But as long as it's done in like an anticipatory way, then hey, you got it, right? So if you're just shooting a bunch of basic key blasts and they super dash in on you, you caught them, you get them dead to rights. All in all, very valuable move. It's good in combos, it's good for catching people just doing weird stuff in the air, and just good all around. Our next move is I'm going to enjoy this, which is basically an anti-air grab. This is quarter circle back, light, medium, and heavy, and this is also air okay as well. Now, for the most part, it's going to be combo fodder. Now, the thing here is it does have the anti-air property, just like the previous move we talked about. The problem is sometimes it can just whiff. Due to the fact there's a little bit of startup to it, and one of the things you're usually going to anti-air is the Superdash. On certain characters, especially smaller characters, this is why we got GT Goku, if you're trying to use it in that manner, you can literally just whiff. Even the EX completely just whiff. The EX, by the way, is indeed frame 1 anti-air. So even if you did last possible frame, it'll still work as an anti-air, but the problem is it has trouble grabbing people as an anti-air. Still good for combos, all that kind of stuff. One thing to note, the aerial version of the move has no anti-air property at all. It's only the grounded versions. So if you're looking to catch people in the air, please do quarter circle back S. That is the one you want, because that will retain the anti-air property in the air, unlike the grabs. Now, this move always side switches, which can be annoying sometimes. However, with that in mind, just keep it like this. If you're always going to side switch, that means Vanish always keeps you same side, right? So you can look at it in that regard. Another special move is the Revenge Final Flash. And it's kind of about what you expect out of a beam. I'm not going to accuse it of being one of the better beams in the game, as it's a little bit slow. So if we go into our frame data here, so from full screen, it'll take 38 frames to connect. If we take another character with a beam like Cooler, and we're also full screen, 30 frames to connect. So it's a little bit slower, although it is a bit different as well, as the beam itself is higher up than the average beam, so it has potential to catch people, say, at the beginning or at the end of a jump, whereas other beams may not. but still, it is a little slower. That said, there is an interesting property about it we'll talk about later in the video. So here's a big one. This is the Parasite Takeover. It's down, down, light, medium, or heavy. So this works when you have a character dead on the enemy team. Doesn't work if there's no dead characters. So right now, Android 17 is dead on the enemy team. So down, down, light gives me his A assist, as this is an assist steal move. Down, down, medium gives me his B assist. Down, down, heavy gives me his C assist. And yes, it has all the properties you might expect out of a C assist, like combo ability, all that kind of stuff, right? And this is just how it works. So you can do this in the air as well. I can call their A assist from the air. It doesn't matter how many times I call it that C assist. As soon as they're off the screen, I can call it again and again and again and again, provided I have the bar. So none of the usual C assist cooldown that's usually pretty extreme compared to most other assists. You can do this as much as you want, and that's really all there is to it. The only holdback is if you're looking for the C assist, and you just might, because C assists tend to be a lot better than regular assists, it will cost you half a bar because it is an EX attack. So which character you get depends on who the most recent dead character is. So right now, 17 is dead, so he's my assist. And if I were to say conk out GT Goku here, when the next character comes in, since GT Goku is now the most recent dead character, it will be his assists I am pulling from. So just keep that in mind. It's always the most recent dead character. For some characters, it might only be ho-hum, right? And for other characters, it could be a really big deal. Like now if I have GT Goku, if I have access to that A assist whenever I want, hey, that's a huge screen control assist. That is a big deal. And I can just do it as much as I please. Now, keep this in mind as it's very important. So while the assist being there is awesome, all that kind of stuff for sure, keep in mind if you are hit at all while the assist is there, the assist will go away, even if they themselves are not being hit, as you can see right here. GT Goku would not get hit, but he's going away. Now, you can block. That is allowed. That is totally fine. If you block, the assist still goes through. But keep in mind, if you are hit at all, the assist goes away, so that's a very, very big deal. Overall, very important. Just in terms of even just screen control, that's fantastic. Combo ability as well, as you are absolutely allowed to call an assist here that you have stolen during a combo and get whole new combo routes that may have never otherwise been possible, right? So as far as the move goes, the biggest limit, honestly, is your imagination. Now, when it comes to command normals, he actually has a lot more than the average character does. He has 3. So first up here, we have reverse shot. This is forward S, the key blast button. And it has the boomerang property, and we'll talk a lot more about the key blast in a moment here. So wait for that section of the guide. We have the machine gun rush. This is forward and H. And this is your E Honda 100 hand slap. Now, I actually did a whole video just detailing this quite a bit, so look for that video link at the end of this video guide, as it's kind of already been talked about to death, so I don't want to belabor it a second time. If you've already seen the video, just check the link at the end of this video. And we have the interceptor kick, which is down and light in the air specifically. And the big thing about this right here is it is one of the best ways mid-screen, if you're outside of the corner, to end in a sliding knockdown, because your opportunities to do so without it are very rare. So mid-screen with your average combo structure for this character here, basically expect to do it a lot, because it's safe, it's easy, it works, and it gets you what you need to do, right? In the corner, there are other options depending on your combo route and all that kind of stuff, but mid-screen, it is definitely a big deal. You're going to be using a lot. Now on to his super. So first, he only has one level 1 super, and that is the full power energy wave, this guy here. So it is air-okay, so if you're in a situation where you got him airborne, say if you're doing after a spin or something, that'll totally work. But it's about as basic gets, to be honest with you. Nothing too fancy about it, but it gets the job done. The level 3s are a lot more interesting. So our first level 3 is the Revenge Death Ball. It's this guy here. Just take it like a Nega Energy Spirit Bomb, if you will. Now, it doesn't have, say, the fabled setups of Dragon Ball FighterZ past like GT Goku had for his, or the Omega level damage that base Goku has, but it has a very strong knockdown, and the hitbox is very big, as you can see, so it's very easy to use in combos. And we have the Grade Ape Assault. Now, this is the big deal. This is the breadwinner, level 3, if you will. So on its face, you hit it, and then you're gonna become a giant golden monkey and kind of slap the crap out of the enemy, as you can see here. Now, what's really good about this is multifold. One, it and its powered up version, which we'll talk about in a second, are on the higher end of minimum damage scaling. So think more like the Chaozu explosion for Tien or base Goku Spirit Bomb. The damage at the end of a combo is intense. The alternate version, so we have the regular and powered up versions, as you can see here, and the powered up version has a different animation and does a bit more damage, but otherwise, property-wise, setup-wise, it is exactly the same move. The way this works is exactly like GT Goku's alternate level 3, actually. So as long as you have one of your own party members defeated, then it will get the alternate animation with a little bit more damage. Another important note about this move, unlike many other level 3s that are invincible, so like attacks will go through them, all that kind of stuff, it is not invincible, but it has a guard point. Meaning, basically, instead of just being invincible, he's blocking the whole time while he's doing the move. And appropriately, that means people can get stuck on him, and certain setups and all that kind of stuff that might otherwise be like a safe jump against a level 3 will not work against this. Now, this is something I also cover in depth in another video. You can find linked at the end of this video. But suffice to say, in terms of damage, setups, just even defensively, it is very strong. Also hits behind him, by the way, and if you do whiff, nothing comes out, just so you know. But yeah, if you want that expanded on in more detail, check the link at the end of this video. There's a whole video dedicated to it. Now, let's talk Ki Blast. Oh my god. Okay, so Ki Blast for Super Baby 2, this is the biggest of big deals. When it comes to basic Ki Blast, he puts the fear into people, not since this humble little gentleman called Broly. So for Ki Blast, let's just start at the basics. Let's start the basic Ki Blast, right? Triple shot, fantastic enough, sure. But the thing is, if any of those were to somehow miss or to somehow not connect, then they're gonna come back, as you can see right there. So this and so many other of his Ki Blasts have the Boomerang property, meaning if they don't initially connect, they will come back to you. And we'll talk a bit more about that in a second. But first, let's just go over everything he has. So we have our basic stand S. It's a triple shot. It's always 3 hits no matter what. So you can hold it or tap it no matter what. You're always going to get 3 hits. Jump S is always a slightly angled shot here. So if you do it close to the ground, you see it kind of arcs in on the enemy. So no matter what, it'll try its best to do so, although it can still obviously miss. And if it misses, then hey, we get the Boomerang property again. We have down, back, down, and down forward S, and that is acid rain or hidden missiles, whatever you want to call it. But basically, you'll shoot up and it'll come back down. So if you hold down back, he'll stay perfectly in place and it'll land on his head. You hit down, he'll move slightly forward, and the shots will be basically just right in front of him. And if you hit down forward, he'll move forward a bit more, and those shots will go full screen. Now keep in mind as well, the initial hit here does have its own hitbox. So if it hits the enemy, the shots won't come out, but you can use it in combos, and it is actually very useful for combos as well. We have the shots from forward and S and quarter circle back and S. Now these guys are actually a little bit special. So the projectiles shot by forward and S and also quarter circle back and S here, they are of higher quality than the basic Ki Blast shot, meaning they will go through regular Ki Blasts. So here we are with Frieza, right? If I did my regular stand S, then our Ki Blasts, they basically just trade because they're the same durability. However, if I was to do forward and S, I'll blow through all of them, because it is of a higher durability. It is in fact the same durability as one of Broly's Ki Blasts, if you're aware of how Broly works. Now Broly gets to shoot multiples, right? So we're not quite that lucky, but still, when it comes to just regular Ki Blasts, you will just destroy everything along the way and still get your hit the boot. And the quarter circle back S projectiles work the exact same way, so they're both of higher durability. Now let's talk the Boomerang. So the Boomerang, any shot that misses with the basic Ki Blast will always return and hit the foe. At least it'll try. It does track, although the tracking is not perfect, so it can indeed miss, and there is a lot of combo structures where it'll bank on at least one of the shots whiffing in the middle of the combo, returning so you can get your whole combo structure off. So it's fantastic. And also the same deal here, the forward S and quarter circle back S, these return as well. However, they return even on hit. So if you were to hit the foe, they'll come back no matter what, right? The basic key blasts here, they only come back if they whiff somehow. Now, here's a really big thing to know about the basic key blast and the boomerang property. If you get hit, that's all there is to it. They are not coming back. So you gotta watch out for that. That said, even on block, they don't come back. And if they were on their way back, as you can see right there, they'll just explode in the middle of the air. So if you wanted to come back in neutral, you have to just not be touched. You can't be hit, you can't be blocked. Now, you can reflect, and on reflect it will still come back, as you can see right there. But that is the only exception. If you get touched any way, shape, or form otherwise, the boomerang is not happening. This also indeed applies to the bigger projectiles, quarter circle back S and forward S. If you were to get touched some way, somehow, even though it always comes back even on block, it is just not coming back this time. You lost it, right? So same deal, just either reflect if you're close enough, if you're counting on it coming to save you, or just don't be in the way. Now on to his assists. So the A assist is the basic key blast, and yes, it has the same property here, so shots that whiff will boomerang back. However, keep in mind, so same deal here, if I get tapped, well then those shots are not coming back. So just a little bit, you know, it sucks, but that's how it is. However, it is much stronger in neutral, because in neutral you can just toss them out, and it's a lot easier to just to flip back and, you know, not engage and have the shots return. It also has uses for Okazeme, so I can toss it knowing it'll whiff, and then knowing it'll return back, and I can start applying pressure, and I'll have those coming back to just help out with that pressure as well. The B assist is his dunk. Now, it's basically combo fodder, but however, as far as combo fodder goes, very good, because it tracks wherever they are on the screen. So if you got a character like, say, a Vegito naturally just bringing people into the air and your combo structure just works that way a lot, hard to stay on the ground, then he is definitely going to be one of your better friends, because he will go wherever they are and always bring them down level to the ground. So if you want to create certain combo structures, or heck, if you just have trouble with combo structure to begin with, he is incredibly friendly and incredibly forgiving on that front. And his C assist is the beam. So as far as beam assist goes, well, they're usually among the better C assists anyways. His is a little bit slower than the average C beam assist, but still it is handy. It controls a giant portion of the screen, as they all tend to do. So even at its absolute worst, it's no less than downright decent. And now on to just some various tips and tricks. And first up here, thanks to basically the recombo anywhere property of his EX dunk, keep in mind if you get that stray super dash in, right? Lots of characters, they get that stray super dash, and without an assist, they gotta just settle for kind of a smaller combo, right? Like say a cooler. Oh, I got my super dash. Okay, I guess this is about what I'm getting, right? No sick recombo, no sick juggle, no nothing, whatever, because I have a more limited moveset. But thanks to EX Dunk, any old super dash, cool, I can definitely bring you back to the ground and say like stand M or whatever you want to do, it doesn't really matter. And I can always just recombo off anything, right? So his damage potential, as long as you're willing to burn half a bar, off a regular old super dash is quite a bit higher than the average character. An interesting note about Super Baby is you can actually use his beam in combos. So normally, this isn't how this works, right? There's a couple small applications, like say with the Yamcha or something, but for the most part, beams are a tool to use in neutral and not so much part of your core combo ability. However, with Super Baby, you can change this up. So the sort of combo structure you're looking for here is the kind that uses standing heavy, the double knees that take you to the wall. And what you want to do from that point is slightly delay and then go for your beam. So generally, delay timing is watch for them to hit the wall. Then they hit the wall, then you can hit your button, you're good to go. And as you saw right there, it actually left me airborne. And from that airborne state, I did my LL auto combo, and it keeps height with the enemy, and then all of a sudden, hey, we're recomboing after the beam. So just to give you an idea how this can work here with inputs on, just to see an example combo. So as you can see here, off a scaling starter, stand light, still almost 4.5k damage, and a very respectable 2.5 bars gained. The thing here is with this style of combo, since the beam itself, while it adds a fair bit of damage and a fair bit of meter, it is multi-hits, so it does count against the hit stun decay. So it is better served with combos with a smaller starter, like less hits in the start. So this example here of like light, down, medium. Okay, at that point we can confirm we got the hit. So at that point we go and stand heavy and combo it from there. If we did like say the whole shebang here, instant air, medium light, then light, down, medium, stand, medium, at that point the combo more than likely is not going to be working because we've already added too much to the hit stun decay because there's so many hits ahead of when we're even going into the beam. So less hits at the start definitely does help you out. But it's still a very realistic starter here. Catching an opponent with a jab in the corner, certainly no, magic Wonderland scenario. So if you manage to catch him here, at that point, you're going to go for that style of hit confirm anyways. And then, oh, I got you. And then we can go into our bigger than average corner combo. So very handy to know. Now, let's talk auto combo for a second here. Everyone's got their auto combos to be sure, but Super Baby is in the small group where his auto combo ender is actually a true command grab. So the enemy here, they're blocking. They are in fact set to guard all, and yet if I were to only get the final hit in, they get got because it is a true grab. Now characters with this property in mind all have the same specific gimmick. So if you already know what I'm talking about, hey, good on you. But in case you don't, there's actually a way to force in the middle of a block string that grab, meaning you can grab them while they're blocking. So what you need is two things. Well, one, Super Baby, right? You got to be able to just make them block. That's easy enough. And you need a character with an assist with lower block stun. So we got frame data on right now. We got the Frieza B assist. So as you can see here, frame advantage is 11. That's low for an assist. So say we call cooler here, right? 32. Most assists have like 25 to 30-ish frames of advantage on block, right? So what you want, generally speaking, is ones with like low 20s or lower. And those are the kind that create this exact setup. So I managed to grab them there. How did that work? If I just do that by itself, well, it's not going to happen no matter how hard I try. So what's happening here is the low block stun assist is actually overwriting the block stun of the second hit of the auto combo. So in effect, the block stun is actually less than the block stun of the second hit with this assist we're using here. So they will return to neutral, the enemy blocking, just for a split second. And then that split second means since they're not blocking, you can get grabbed. So let me show it to you here with slow-mo with my inputs on. So as you saw there, Goku just returned the neutral just a split second before the grab happened. He was no longer in the auto guard state, the auto block state, and that is exactly why I could grab him. There are other assists that work just fine with this, like Trunks A is a classic one, I believe. The Broly, Super Broly, that is, B assist, same deal. So what you want, once again, here is just assists that have low frame advantage on block. And any character, this is a universal setup, any character with an auto grab ender here for their auto combo, all of them can do this exact same setup. It's basically a little bit of a brotherhood of a gimmick. Now, is there a way out? Of course there is. They can jump out, they can super dash out, all that kind of stuff. Anything that makes them airborne or otherwise able to get out of a grab, even a backdash, right? They'll all avoid the grab, but the idea here is to catch them asleep at the wheel because visually it's effectively imperceptible. They would have to know you're going for it, and this is why this kind of setup is so good. This is just a little note to remember when you're up against the final character. So, in case you don't recall, Dragon Rushes gain a different property on Snapback when there's no characters left to snap back to. You instead launched them up into the air, and you actually, even at the end of a longer combo, get just a little bit more of a follow-up. So I used that relaunch property there because there's no one to snap to, and I land it and managed to get the spin to win toss in instead. So it would just be a little bit more damage than if you let the Dragon Rush rock as is. So it might not be the end of the world, but just remember situations where that's possible, it can actually be a fairly big deal. Now, one thing you always want to do is turn the tables on the enemy when possible, and of course being cornered is one of the least desirable positions to be in the game, and luckily for you, Super Baby 2 has a way to flip the script in the corner and re-corner the enemy off a basic starter. So what we need to do is something basically as basic gets, something like light, down medium, stand medium. The trick here is to basically slightly delay the stand medium. The timing is almost imperceptible, just a very tiny delay, and then go into down forward S, this guy here, and then go into quarter circle back S. And it'll look something like this. And as you can see, we have now switched sides. Now the combo in and of itself, well, you don't get too much to it. So you will have to maximize this by using an assist just to hold them in place long enough for you to recombo. But if you have one, then it'll start looking something like this. So there you go. And I know that's not the most optimal combo, but just as an idea, right? So you can be cornered, get out of the corner, re-corner them, and that's all there is to it. Timing's a bit tricky once again. When you go from down M, you got to delay the stand M for the right amount of timing and spacing needed. So practice it as you will, but there you go, and that's how to switch corners and get some damage back. Now, we just went from switching sides while we're in the corner to now we're going to switch sides to put ourselves into the corner. And why is that? So we can do our level 3s and have the level 3s hit backwards, basically, put ourselves in the corner, and then we get a whole new way to mix people up. So how do we accomplish this? Well, with most combo structures, you can basically do what you were going to do anyways, and then we're going to use the power of our Acid Rain attack to kind of sneak ourselves into the corner and go from there. So now, as you can see, Goku's behind me, and he's sure getting hit by that Spirit Bomb anyways. Don't worry about that. But now I'm in the corner, so I can do whatever I'm going to do. I can tap it, I can hit you, and of course, I can just easily cross you up and all that kind of stuff. So it just gives us an alternate way to do it. So to break it down here, we're going to do our combo, and you got to bear with me while I do it, because I'm talking here, right? That's how these guys work, so hang on a second. So we're getting here, and this point right here. So we did our Ki Blast in the air. Normally, this is where we do like a Dragon Rush ender or something at the very end of the combo. And then we wait a split second after that basic Ki Blast when we land, and then do down forward and S to basically cross underneath the enemy, and then we're in the corner ourselves, and then the level 3 works. Now, you can also get this to work with the Great Ape Super, however, it is a lot trickier. The one thing here with the Great Ape is, unlike the Death Ball Super, it can't be special canceled. So, like, if you try to do a special into it or anything like that, you're just going to get a homing dash or quarter circle back S instead. Versus, obviously, everything combos into the normal level 3, as it were. So you can do it. It's tricky. You got to do some manual timing because it can't be canceled. It has to be done manually. So play around with it if you can. But the easy answer is the Death Ball. And then you have all sorts of fun corner steal shenanigans. So let's talk about character-specific combos. This is something you might have heard about Super Baby already, because he is chock full of them. More to the point, I think he has more character-specific combos than literally every other character in the game combined. So let me give you a quick example here before we talk a little bit more. So I got GT Goku here. He's a little boy. Hey, look at this combo. I'm going to use down H, down heavy. Okay, that worked well enough, right? Now let's try that exact same combo on Cell. Oh, turns out it doesn't really work. Because we need the third Ki Blast to actually connect, as that's the one that's special cancelable. So if the other ones can miss all they want, right? It is the third one that allows us to special cancel into that dunk to let us get the recombo going. Okay, so here, let's try a different combo at Cell. It's mostly the same combo, but there's just one difference. Oh, that worked. Okay, the only difference there is I did Superdash, MLL, and then I jumped M into S. Versus for GT Goku, I jumped L into S. Now, let's see if that combo works on GT Goku, then we can just save a bunch of time. Oh, that just completely whiffs on GT Goku. So you see what I'm saying here. So even though this specific instance I'm giving you, it's literally a one-button difference, but it is the difference between this working on one character and not working on another character, and the one-button difference that works on the other character doesn't work on this character, right? And he is chock full of these, to the point of frustration if you're, you know, the kind of person like me who looks for combos and stuff, right? Turns out then, oh man, I found out something cool. Oh, it works on like half the cast, 2/3 of the cast, and just randomly drops on one character. And he is full of these. Now, in this video, some of the combos I've shown, and in the companion combo guide, you can find that linked at the end of the video, I've done my best to show as many universal routes as possible that work on everybody, but this is something where you just gotta truly beware. What might work on GT Goku won't work on Cell. What works on Cell might not work on Bardock. What works on Bardock might not work on GT Goku, right? Like, it's just a big circle, and it's rough. In the corner, it's easier to get universal routes. Now, you definitely can easily get universal routes mid-screen, but the problem is they're like the basic stuff, right? Like, this is not blowing anybody's minds, but this is safe, and it truly does work on everybody. But a lot of the fancier routes, especially ones that use aerial Ki Blasts or acid rains or stuff like that, you gotta really just watch out. This is just a PSA that so many combos, that are especially more on the fancy end of things, are hyper character specific, so please watch out. I'm dedicating this part of the video to Videl, because Videl's stupid and bad. So a normal character, if they call out, say, like a Ki Blast or something from full screen, cool. Reflect, whatever, free meter, right? Awesome. Now Videl, thanks to her amazing unique reflect mechanic, what happens is this. So no meter gain for reflecting, because she doesn't get that either, by the way. And yeah, she gets boomeranged on. So her awesome reward for correctly calling out you on your S, as it were, is she still gets smacked. So yeah, just keep that in mind, I guess, if you ever fight a Videl player. And now on to the part of the video where we talk about Okizeme, otherwise known as just simply pressure on the opponent's wake up. Now the first thing is the most basic thing. You're down in S series of attacks. These guys right here. Get any real knockdown, just chuck one out. It's that simple. You don't need complex frame data or, you know, hyper specific timing or anything. Just knock them down, do the thing, and it falls down on their head. If they up tech, if they back tech, if they try to vanish or whatever, it'll get them. It's that easy. You know, right there, the enemy set the vanish. Nice vanish, dummy, because you vanished right into it. So like that kind of stuff, just not really gonna work. And of course, you get the benefit of just being able to block. So if they try to reverse or whatever, level 3, you get to block it in time. Now, there is some more stuff to this. One, naturally, the enemy, once they know this is a thing you're going to be doing, will wake up reflect. That totally beats it. Absolutely, 100%. But then we can get a little tricky, and then we can go for, say, down forward S. And hey, where's the shots? Because down forward S sends them full screen. And even if you're in, you know, the corner, it'll try to send them full screen. So they're happening way over where we can't even see them. And at which point you can do it. Oh, he did the thing. I'm going to wake up, reflect, and just Dragon Rush him or something like that, right? Like, it's an easy tool that comes with an easy bait and switch to built in. It also works with your auto combo. We had a whole section earlier in the video about how to use assist to trick people into getting hit with the grab with the auto combo. You can do this by yourself. So all we need to do here, do the move, wait 1 split second for the attack, and then delay the third hit, which would be the grab. And hey, there you go. Really? That simple. Nothing to it. The timing, maybe practice it a little bit here just so we can get comfortable with it, but it's another option available for you. So before we get into, like, you know, the fancier stuff with frame specifics and all that kind of stuff, just knock dude down, do thing, and go from there. It's really that easy. So next up, we're going to show you a way to get some Okazeme, some post-knockdown pressure, after your basic B and B, and we're going to be using quarter circle back and S. And specifically what we want here is we want to boomerang those shots, and we're going to do it in a specific way. Our combo, we're using a super dash to have a very specific tailored height. So in combination with the boomerang, we're also going to land directly on their head and stuff basically everything. So anything invincible, like a Dragon Punch or Wake Up Level 3, will go through it and have time to block, so it's a safe jump. And also, things like the enemy here, set to Wake Up Down Heavy. The enemy, any Wake Up Down Heavies, Wake Up Vanishes, all that kind of stuff, will stuff it clean. And there you have it. So even before we can get the anti-air invincibility frames off, we land on his head. There you go. And of course, if they try to up tech as well, we'll catch it in the air. So the enemy is set to up tech vanish there, and we still got him just fine, right? So back tech, up tech, whatever you're trying to do, it can work out just great. Now, the one thing to know here, obviously, the homing dash is very important for the height matter, because we do need to be a very specific height, but also the Dragon Rush. I find it's a lot easier to make sure you have the correct timing if you do not hold the Dragon Rush. Now, if you hold it, you will get a little bit extra damage, yes, but you will make the timing and making sure you're shutting down all the options quite a bit tighter. So, in my experience, in my opinion, it's good to give up that last couple bits of damage, last couple points of damage, just to make sure this works out a lot better. But yeah, you do the basic combo, you're giving up a little bit of damage on DR, and obviously using a super dash in it isn't the most optimal form of damage, so the combo damage is a little bit less, but in the end, you're getting an airtight setup. Now, moving on to our level 3s. Level 3 is always a big deal, as they give true hard knockdown, so no delay attacks, up attacks, any fanciness, you get up at a set amount of time. Now, of the two, between the monkey and the spirit bomb, the monkey does way more damage, to be sure, but it does not have as much frame advantage. So monkey gives us 30 frames of advantage, and spirit bomb gives us 42 frames of advantage. So in the end, suffice to say, basically, you get stronger setups from this. So if you're in a situation where neither of them will kill or even necessarily maybe bring the enemy close to death, then overall, pound for pound, you're better off going for this, as your options will simply just be stronger. Now in the corner here, the Spirit Bomb has the classic setup here. So just simply hold up when you're doing it, and then as the enemy's getting up, just hit medium. And that beats everything. So it's a safe jump. Reversals, invincible moves, all that kind of stuff. Level 3s, goes right through them. You'll have time to block. And if they want to do something with a faster startup here, like say a Vanish or a Wake Up Down Heavy that has an anti-air invincibility, you'll still stuff it clean as day. So it's stronger in that regard than the Big Monkey. And as you see there, completely stuff the Vanish. As the Big Monkey, it can safe jump the supers. But the faster things like the vanish and all that, it can't deal with those. Like you can still hold up, but they'll vanish in time they get past it. Whereas with the Spirit Bomb, they cannot. And from that point, once again, this is the classic setup. From that point, we know this. Okay, I can just overhead you with neutral jump M. So I gotta block, you know, high, right? And then, of course, well then no, haha, hit you with the low, that kind of stuff. And yeah, he's got a slower low, but it's not that slow. And then, of course, now, you know, well, okay, I'll just wait for you, wait a split second, then block low, right? And then, of course, no, because then last second, then I'll, like, instant overhead jump L, something like that, right? So, effectively, we have the options of overhead, low, and delayed overhead timing. So this is a classic setup. Many characters have it, and he, of course, has this strong setup. Now, remember this guy? We covered this actually earlier in the video, where we get really tricky and do a reverse level 3, putting ourselves into the corner, right? And turns out there's a fair bit of options from this as well. So you can still totally stuff like down heavies, wake up benches, as you just saw there. All you need to do is when you try to instant air dash over on the other side, just delay it a tiny little bit. Also, if you do the super jump install method here, where you just hit down before you do your instant air dash, so you have some manner of air control, so you can float, that makes things a lot easier as well. And of course, you can just be really basic, like you can just wait and like go, hey, aha, just tap you on the other side, just to make sure it's not always a cross-up. If it's always a cross-up, there's no mix-up, because they're always going to expect it. Also, what we went over earlier here of the whole just neutral jump, you know, empty jump low, or just, you know, quick air dash, that kind of stuff still applies on the opposite side as well. And there, just a cute little example. We can jump up, make it look like we're going to cross over, and instead just go for a raw tag. Since we're in the corner at the end of the screen, the tag is like about as close to instant as it can get. The hitbox is as close to the enemy as they're going to get. So they'll block one way expecting a cross up, and then we just kind of hit them same side, and you can go for whatever you know, super dash combo off the tag you want from there. So it's a gimmick, 100%. But it's a gimmick that will definitely catch someone if they've never seen it before. Now, to talk team placement and a general game plan. For team placement, where should he be on team? I'm going to give you the lame answer because I believe it's the right one, honestly. And that is, I think he works in all three positions. I think he works as a point, I think he works as a mid, and I think he works as an anchor. As a point, well, hey, look at his moveset. Between the key blast, all of his options just fill the screen with absolute garbage, and you add 2 assists to that are also conducive to just filling up the screen with all sorts of projectiles and all sorts of mess. He's like almost like the Morrigan of Dragon Ball FighterZ in that regard. His ability to just put threats and just general garbage key blasts and all that on the screen is unparalleled, especially with the right assists that can help him out in that regard. So as a point character, man, it's that easy. You will need assists that are conducive towards it, sure, but if you can do it, fantastic. As a mid, I believe his A assist is truly fantastic. At the very least, it's good for recombos, all that kind of stuff, because it holds them in place for just a little bit. And of course, on whiff and all that kind of stuff, then you get into the situation where you're going to have those boomerangs come, and they can just be very helpful for all sorts of pressure sets and all that. So the assist is very good. And the key thing with him being an assist and also as an anchor is he's much more likely to run into a situation where the enemy will have that dead character. And all of a sudden, once they have that dead character, then all of a sudden, wait, then we can start using our assist steal and all the very useful things that come with it. And you just got to work from there, right? Obviously, certain characters much better assist than others to steal, but the mid is going to be much more in place to make use of it than, say, the point would. Also, as an anchor, you know, you got nobody to rely on but yourself, and that's where like things where 214S really get really good, because you can start, you know, just tossing out your key blast, and the second they go for that rando super dash from full screen, you're in a place, especially airborne, because it's an air invincible move that is airborne, that you can just deal with that stuff and just go from there, right? and it plays really good with vanishes and all that kind of stuff. So your neutral is very strong, and you need a character like with a decent game plan, right, as an anchor. And as far as his game plan goes, you know, all the general projectile stuff is good. He's got a good reach on his buttons and all that kind of stuff. If you're just looking for the big hit into the big combo, all that kind of stuff. His potential as well as an anchor with limit break, his combo damage, especially in the corner, is higher than average, so that gets multiplied by limit break. And of course, when you're just looking to finish off a character, well, then hey, you have one of the most damaging supers in the game, so that just works out great, especially after a higher than average damage combo in the corner. So your damage will be extra tuned up. So as a final character, as the big comeback dude, he can definitely do it. So effectively, once again, any of the three positions, I do not think you can go wrong as long as you have the right team backing them up. Now, as for the general game plan, a lot of what we talked about here is just, I love his neutral. Like, the key blasts are so good. He has a higher than average priority key blast in forward S and cortical back S. So very similar to, you know, like Broly and his key blast, right? So that is a rare property in this game. And the fact that especially forward S, you will always get the boomerang shot, even if it does get hit or it does get blocked. It always comes back on like basic key blast, so his screen control is really good, and he just makes a good accounting for himself. The one thing I'll say is his block strings are definitely on the weaker side of things, due to the fact, like, you know, this is a basic block string. Oh wait, so down M to stand M, there's the gap, and if you go like light stand M, there's a gap. So that causes problem. If you want to go like instant air ML here, and then go to the light, the crouching like that is, there's a gap there as well, because it is a slower move, right? So there definitely is a lot of gaps. Now it isn't all doom and gloom on this front at the very least, as down M does jail into light dunk, and light dunk is always safe on block, no matter what. At absolute worst, it's going to be -5 with pushback. So like, you don't have to leave yourself exposed, so that is something, right? And light by itself is only -3, so it's barely negative at all. So it's not too bad for stagger pressure if you want to do it that kind of way. So you do have ways out, but just watch out. Don't necessarily over-rely on the usual milieu that we all been doing for years now of, you know, LLMM, all that kind of stuff, because it can get you beat up, especially with just this being so slow, right? Like, it's good as a poke, sure, but in a block string, 17 frames is slow. Like, people can definitely see it if they're on very quick on the ball, and then like level 3 right through it or something, right? And that is definitely not what you want. But outside of that big weakness, in my opinion, once again, just very strong neutral. Like, he's not a mix heavy character necessarily. He does have some neat things, like where any returning boomerang shots will rip people out of the corner. So if you're waiting on it, at that point, then you'd be like, haha, and then quick overhead, cross up, that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, he just plays a solid game. Just control the screen, fill the screen with trash, do your best to do that. People go crazy on you, you got a great tool in just stopping them dead in the tracks with all the random super dashes, all that. He just gets to play solid. And that is the guide. So one thing to note here is this guide will definitely get outdated in time. As we went over earlier in the video, there's so much character specific stuff, and I guarantee you the character specific stuff will define this character in the end. Be it like weird interactions or, you know, a lot of the crazy combos, that kind of stuff. The person who can really get a hang of that and optimize these character specific interactions and combos will have the utter mastery of the character, and I feel that a lot of these are definitely yet to come, to be discovered in time, right? So look forward to that. But other than that, you know, at the very least for me, hey, they finally put the Great Ape in the game, right? Almost 3 years later, but they finally did it, even if it's just a cinematic. So happy for that. I definitely think he's definitely on the stronger end of things. Like, this isn't a tier list or anything, but I don't know if you're going to say he's top 5 or anything, but he's definitely one of the stronger characters in the game for sure. Definitely not a weak character, not with the million options he's got. Like, he's got more options than, like, two base launch characters combined, right? Maybe there's an argument to be made for power creep in this game, especially in Season 3, UI Goku, Master Roshi. Now this guy, these characters are way better designed and have way more to them than the average character. And with that in mind, I say, hey, go and enjoy it. Play him before they nerf something random or something like that, right? I just think he's a cool character, and he has a very defined game plan. He's definitely the I want to fill screen with trash character, and he does really, really, really good at that. So if that's the kind of thing you want to look forward to in playing a character, this is your guy. And before I just ramble on too much, I'll just say, as a character, thumbs up, I like him, and that's the end of this video. So hey, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.